Bruce Lee had a medical condition he hid from the world. It made him stronger than anyone knew possible, and it's what killed him. Los Angeles, 1968. Bruce Lee sits in a doctor's office. Routine checkup. Nothing concerning. He's 27 years old, peak physical condition, trains 6 hours a day, sleeps 4 hours a night, barely eats, maximum output, minimal input. The body as a machine pushed to its absolute limits. The doctor reviews Bruce's blood work, frowns, checks the results again, looks at Bruce sitting there, calm, confident, seemingly healthy. "Mr. Lee, when was the last time you had a full physical?" "I don't know. Years. I don't get sick. Don't need checkups." "Your results are unusual." "Unusual how?" The doctor hesitates, choosing words carefully. "Your cortisol levels are extremely elevated. Your resting heart rate is abnormally low. Your blood pressure fluctuates dramatically, and your adrenal glands are showing signs of significant stress." What does that mean? It means your body is in a constant state of fight or flight. Your adrenal system is overproducing stress hormones. This is typically seen in people under extreme chronic stress. Combat soldiers, trauma survivors, people living in constant danger. Bruce laughs. "I'm not in danger. I train hard, that's all." "Mr. Lee, training hard doesn't explain these numbers. This level of adrenal activation suggests something deeper, something psychological or neurological. Have you experienced significant trauma, anxiety, panic attacks?" "No. I feel fine, better than fine. I feel incredible." And that's the problem. Bruce does feel incredible. The elevated stress hormones make him feel superhuman, more alert, more focused, more capable. His body is flooding itself with adrenaline, cortisol, norepinephrine, constantly. Not in response to immediate danger, just constantly. As baseline, most people would feel this as anxiety, as panic, as overwhelming stress. But Bruce's brain interprets it differently, as power, as energy, as fuel. The chemicals that make others afraid make Bruce fearless. The doctor continues. "Mr. Lee, this condition is unsustainable. Your adrenal glands can't maintain this level of output indefinitely. Eventually they'll fail. Your body will crash hard." How long? Impossible to say. Could be years, could be months. Depends on how much stress you continue to put on the system. What should I do? Rest. Real rest. Not just sleep. Mental and physical rest. Reduce training intensity. Manage stress. Let your adrenal system recover. Bruce nods. Says he'll consider it, walks out of the office, never follows the advice, never tells anyone about the diagnosis. Not Linda, not his students, not his friends, nobody. Because Bruce sees this condition differently than the doctor. The doctor sees danger. Bruce sees advantage. His body produces stress hormones naturally that other people need to artificially generate through extreme situations. Bruce is living at a level of physiological intensity most humans only access in moments of crisis. And he believes this is why he's so good, why he moves so fast, why he thinks so clearly under pressure, why he never gets tired, why he can train longer and harder than anyone else. It's not just discipline, it's biochemistry. His adrenal system is giving him a competitive edge, making him superhuman. But what the doctor knew and Bruce refused to believe was that this advantage would eventually kill him. Bruce keeps training harder, longer, pushing the already overworked adrenal system further. The elevated cortisol starts affecting other systems. His sleep becomes even worse. 4 hours becomes 3. 3 becomes 2. His body can't shut down, can't rest. The stress hormones won't let it. His appetite decreases. The elevated cortisol suppresses hunger signals. Bruce eats less and less. His already lean frame becomes skeletal. By 1973, Bruce weighs 135 pounds at 5'7". Dangerously underweight. But he doesn't see it, doesn't feel it. The stress hormones mask the signals his body is sending. His immune system weakens. Chronic stress suppresses immune function. Bruce starts getting infections. Nothing serious, but more frequently than normal. His body struggling to defend itself while also maintaining the constant state of heightened alertness. His cardiovascular system strains. The fluctuating blood pressure the doctor warned about becomes more extreme. Bruce's heart is working overtime, pumping blood through a body in perpetual fight-or-flight mode, resting when it should be active, racing when it should be calm. The rhythm all wrong. The back injury. Bruce pushes through it. The pain should force rest. should force the body to heal, but the adrenal system won't allow it, keeps flooding Bruce with cortisol, keeps telling his brain you can push through this, so he does, and damages himself further. The pain medication starts. Aspirin at first, then stronger NSAIDs, then prescription painkillers. Bruce needs them to function, to train through the chronic pain his body never fully recovered from. But the medications add more stress to already overtaxed organs, the liver processing drugs, the kidneys filtering waste, the adrenal glands still overproducing hormones, everything running at maximum capacity with no break. 5 years after the doctor's warning, Bruce's adrenal system is failing. Not suddenly, gradually, like a machine running at redline for too long. Parts wearing out, systems breaking down. But Bruce doesn't notice, or refuses to notice, because admitting weakness isn't in his nature, accepting limitation isn't in his programming. July 10, 1973, the first collapse, cerebral edema, brain swelling. The doctors don't fully understand why, but Bruce's compromised adrenal system is part of it. The chronic stress, the elevated cortisol, the years of pushing beyond sustainable limits, all of it converging. The swelling happens because Bruce's body can no longer regulate fluid properly. The adrenal glands produce hormones that help control fluid balance. When those glands are exhausted, the regulation fails. Fluid accumulates. In Bruce's case, in his brain. They treat it. He recovers. They warn him. Again, Mr. Lee, your body is breaking down. You need to stop. You need real rest. Bruce promises. Doesn't follow through. Can't follow through. Because his entire identity is built on pushing limits, on transcending normal human capacity, on being Bruce Lee. And Bruce Lee doesn't rest, doesn't quit, doesn't accept limitation. July 20, 1973, 10 days after the first collapse. Bruce takes Aquagic, a painkiller containing aspirin and a muscle relaxant. He's taken similar medications before. Should be fine, would be fine in a normal person. But Bruce's system isn't normal, hasn't been normal since at least 9, probably longer. The adrenal exhaustion, the chronic stress, the years of medication, the compromised organs, everything creates a perfect storm. The aquagesic triggers a reaction, not an allergy, not a simple overdose, a systemic failure. Bruce's exhausted adrenal system can't compensate, can't regulate, can't save him. Cerebral edema, again, but this time fatal. Bruce Lee dies at 11:30 p.m., age 32, not from the Aquagic, from 5 years of ignoring medical warnings, from a lifetime of pushing an already overactive adrenal system past its breaking point, from the secret condition he hid from everyone, the condition that made him superhuman and killed him. The autopsy doesn't find the adrenal exhaustion, doesn't test for it, doesn't look for it. They find the cerebral edema, attribute it to medication reaction, close the case. But they miss the underlying cause, the years of physiological stress, the overtaxed adrenal glands, the body running at unsustainable intensity. Only one doctor knew, the doctor from 1968 who warned Bruce, who told him this condition would eventually fail, who predicted exactly what happened. But that doctor never came forward. Patient confidentiality, medical ethics. The warning remains private. The secret stays hidden. Linda discovers it years later. Going through Bruce's medical records, finds the 1968 report, the elevated cortisol, the adrenal stress, the doctor's warning, and she understands, finally understands why Bruce pushed so hard, why he couldn't stop, why he seemed superhuman, because biochemically, he was. His body was producing hormones at levels that gave him genuine advantages, made him faster, stronger, more focused, more capable. The cost was sustainability. The advantage was temporary, but while it lasted, it made Bruce Lee who he was. Bruce didn't hide this condition out of shame, Linda says years later. He hid it because he saw it as his edge, his secret weapon, the thing that made him special. He believed controlling it, pushing through it, mastering it was what made him Bruce Lee. He wasn't wrong. It did make him Bruce Lee, but it also killed him. The medical community debates this. Some doctors argue Bruce had a form of hyperadrenalism, overactive adrenal glands. Others suggest chronic stress response. Others point to genetic factors. Nobody knows for certain. Bruce never got comprehensive testing, never allowed full investigation, kept the secret, died with it. But the pattern is clear. The 1968 warning, The 5 years of deterioration, the chronic symptoms, the eventual fatal collapse, all consistent with adrenal exhaustion, with a body pushed beyond its limits for too long. Bruce Lee's superpower was also his fatal flaw. The thing that made him extraordinary killed him. The advantage that let him transcend normal human limits was unsustainable, and Bruce knew. The doctor told him in 1968, told him clearly, this will kill you eventually. Bruce chose to ignore it, chose to push anyway, chose the superhuman ability over longevity, chose being Bruce Lee over being alive. Was it worth it? Did the 5 extra years of peak performance justify the early death? Did the films, the legacy, the impact justify the cost? Bruce would probably say yes. He lived more in 32 years than most people live in 80. Achieved more, influenced more, mattered more. The abbreviated timeline was the price. The early death was the cost. But the impact was eternal. Shannon Lee has a different perspective. My father had a condition that gave him incredible abilities, but it also had a timer, and he knew about the timer. He chose to run full speed knowing the clock was ticking. That's either incredibly brave or incredibly reckless. Maybe both. But it wasn't ignorance. It wasn't bad luck. It was a choice. My father chose intensity over longevity, chose impact over survival, and he got what he chose. Maximum intensity, minimum time. The secret Bruce Lee kept from everyone wasn't a scandal, wasn't a moral failing, was a medical condition he weaponized, turned into advantage, rode until it killed him. The elevated stress hormones that made him fearless, the overactive adrenal system that gave him superhuman energy, the biochemical imbalance that let him transcend normal human limits. All of it unsustainable, all of it temporary, all of it fatal. Bruce Lee was biochemically extraordinary, not just in skill, in actual physiology. His body operated differently than normal humans, produced hormones at levels that created genuine superhuman abilities. For a while, and then it killed him. Exactly like the doctor predicted in 19... The secret Bruce Lee kept from everyone, the medical condition he hid, the advantage that became a death sentence. That's the truth, not speculation, not conspiracy. Medical fact documented in records Linda found years after Bruce died. Bruce Lee's body was his greatest weapon and his ultimate enemy. The thing that made him extraordinary destroyed him. The advantage was temporary. The cost was permanent. July 20, 1973, the Roble system that had been running at Redline since at least 1968 finally failed. The superhuman body that defied normal limits finally met a limit it couldn't transcend: death. The secret killed him. The condition he hid. The advantage he weaponized. The biochemical edge that made him Bruce Lee. 5 years from warning to death. 1968 to 19... The doctor was right. The body was unsustainable. The advantage was fatal. Bruce Lee knew, and pushed anyway, chose the superhuman ability over longevity, chose being a legend over being alive. He got what he chose: legendary status, eternal impact, and death at 32. The secret he kept from everyone, the condition that made him superhuman and killed him. That's the truth nobody talks about. The medical reality behind the legend. The biochemical explanation for both Bruce's greatness and his early death. He wasn't just disciplined, he was biochemically different, and that difference gave him an edge, for a while, until it killed him. The secret Bruce Lee kept from everyone. Now you know it too.